She was like, but they cuss too much. And I'm like, the joke is my mom don't even listen. Like she hear clips on Instagram, but I think she just knows her son. Yeah, she definitely knows you. She knew you before she knew me.
This is true.
So she definitely probably know how you get. She only think Ez is like the nice one. Yo, shout out to Ez for standing me up and not going with me to Vegas. If you are in Vegas, one half of the Black Dads Club will be in Vegas, July. I think it's like the 14th or the 20th something.
Hey, I may be 21st. There. That is my kid-free week. So
the 21st of July.
I mean,
check.
Wait. You going on the 21st?
Yeah. I'm going that Friday to Tuesday morning.
I might can make it. That is actually my weekend to have my son. Let's see how me and my ex-wife is getting along.
Look, man. Shout out to her. Shout out to all the ex-wives. Shout out to all the men that's in the car right now with their wives. Shout out to everybody who's with a side chick, hoping their wife ain't listening. This goes to anybody. If you are man enough and serious enough to listen to this with your girl in the car, I commend you.
This is a good pod to listen to with your girl, man. Like,
is it?
The men who can listen to this pod with their women got great wives, bro.
Or you not getting laid.
No, I mean, she might get mad for a minute, but she gonna come right around.
Yeah, me and my wife was having. Is this pillow talking? Or is this giving too much information?
You might be about to give too much information.
All right. Well, everybody knows I do that every episode. Me and my wife we've been having this conversation. It keeps coming up, right? About, do you have to fix yourself before you start searching for love? Now, with that, I believe that you should. She doesn't. And so it's creating like this weird energy because the conversation came up 3 damn times.
Yeah, but that's an excellent question, though. Like, do you have to fix yourself? I think you should be working on yourself. I don't think you have to be like 100% fixed because I don't think any of us are
100% fixed.
100% fixed. But I do think you got to be willing to work on yourself.
Absolutely. Well,
and some of us love broken things, man. Some of us love broken things. I suffered from that for a long time in my life.
You was a fixer.
I'm a reformed bird feeder. I am a reformed. Yeah,
I am who I am.
Yeah, I used to do that. I mean, because I kind of felt, that's my responsibility, right? Like when you have that healing energy, right? That non-judgmental energy. Like I have conversations that I guess most people just don't have because when people talk to me, they just lay it out. I hear it all, and I just be like, oh, okay.
That's because you do that weird ass laugh, and then you take a sip of your drink before you give them some bad information. I picked that shit up years ago, actually. I picked that up about Mike. I said, when Mike do that laugh, he just did. He grabbed his drink, he sip on it, he goes, all right. It's over. You need to grab your shit and go.
If I say, all right.
You need to grab your stuff and go.
It is about to get rough.
So here's the conversation. So I've been telling my wife, I'm like, look, I believe it's unfair for you to get, and I was speaking to her as far as friends that we know that we no longer speak to, or vice versa, right? And I said it's unfair that when you meet a friend and people assume like, hey, even though we're in our 30s, even though we're in our late 20s, look, this is what I suffered from my childhood. Accept me for who I am. And I think it's unfair for you to dump your toxic ways or habits or bad habits on friends, right?
Yes.
And so then so we agree with that. And then she said, yeah, but I also think that you shouldn't run away from love or relationships just because you have toxic ways. And I'm like,
wait. Like that person has toxic ways?
Yeah. So I guess, and so me and her was getting to this point of, hey, we're all working on ourselves. We are growing, right? And I guess she was assuming I was saying like, yo, nah, you shouldn't find love or look for love before that. I wish I could call it, but she'll probably be like, hell nah, you got me all the way wrong. And then we be going on this. And so,
I see what she's saying though, but
and me too.
I think toxic is too far, right? Like if you have a toxic insecurity, right? Like if I'm dating a woman and she's like, I got to go through your phone every day, right? Because of what's happened to her in the past. That's not fair to me. And vice versa, right? Like if you're dating a woman and because you've been cheated on, you clocking everything she do, right? Like if she goes to the grocery store and comes back and that shit was 24 minutes instead of 15 minutes, you got an attitude, right?
You got it.
I think that is when it's too far. Now, if you're working on things, right, and you're like, like she's always 30 minutes late or an hour late, right?
Yeah.
It's okay to say, hey, babe, because I am concerned for you, hey, just check in, let me know you're on your way or whatever. But I'll tell you, I've had this conversation with young men twice, two separate sets of guys,
okay,
in the past week or so. And one of the younger dudes, 27-year-old, he was like, how do you get past, wondering what your woman is doing, right? And I was just like, oh, you just got to drop that shit. I said, here's the thing, man. Women do what they want to do.
Facts.
Right? Like, just remember, like, they do. They do what they want to do. You cannot guard the hen house, right? You just got to trust that she's loyal.
Facts.
Right? And then you create the environment for that to exist.
Facts.
Read it to, talking to another one of my homeboys, man, and he was just like, if a woman, dresses provocatively in a certain way, he was like, I just feel like that woman is more easily gotten than a woman that doesn't dress that way. And I was just like, I see what you're saying, but this is the thing, right?
It's not the 50s.
It's loyalty is discipline, right? From a man or from a woman. Facts. So the less disciplined they are, the more likely it is to happen. I don't really base that upon what they're wearing.
Absolutely.
So,
and you know what? And I'm telling my wife, Karina, if you're listening, you should skip the next 30 seconds. I felt like she was shooting women some bail when women don't have their shit in order and they want a certain dude of a certain caliber. So I told her, and this is when she left out the room. Definitely didn't have sex this night. She definitely left the room and she went upstairs because I was like, yo, it's cool. If you are working in a call center, be cool with dating a dude who in a call center. If you got kids, be cool with dating a dude who have kids. If you got shitty credit, be cool with the dude with shitty credit wanting to talk to you.
It's definitely shooting.
And I said, what happened is we look at women, and we were actually talking about some women, so I wasn't trying to throw nobody under the bus. And I was like, yo, the thing is, certain times you come across women who are like, I require X, Y, and Z out of a man, and you look at them and say, cool, what do you offer?
Well,
or what is your stat line? Like when we look at the player card, what's your player card say?
Yeah, we definitely tell guys to just stop asking what they bring to the table, right? Because it's just an adversarial question, right?
Absolutely.
It is your job to be able to look over there and see what she's bringing to the table and to say, you know what, that ain't enough, and to be able to walk away from it.
Or exactly. Know when to walk away. Yeah. All right. Before we get started, I got some beef I need to get off from the last podcast. Shout out, and I'm gonna make this quick because last episode Mike told me we gotta get out of here, and I definitely stretched it past our normal limit. Look here. Shout out to all the women that DM me to let me know when I said that black men are not running around saying they feel protected by their women. I do notice how nobody was in the comments, black men that I'm talking about, and was like, yes, we do. I did notice by all the DMs, all the comments, it was number of women saying either the wrong thing or my favorite part is when y'all let us know, yo, we do march for y'all at the protest. And I'm like, we dead by that point. So
yeah. I mean, nobody need. And the question, it was a good question, right? Men don't really say that because I don't think that there's an expectancy. Even
facts.
So if there's not an expectancy, I think that's where the women are coming from. It's like y'all don't really hold us to that standard, and I don't want to be held to that standard.
Facts.
And I think that's the truth. It's like they just did not want to be held to that standard. And I got to bring a retraction back because I said I think I said on the pod that we're not victims, we're harmless. And I meant to say we are victims and we're harmless. Like if you're black in this country, you're absolutely victimized.
Yeah.
But you also got to realize that you're absolutely harmless. And I'm going to stand on that until we decide that we're going to build communities that can protect themselves.
And I need to clarify. I didn't mean protect. I meant the word support, and that got lost in the sauce. And I felt like a real doof if I would have changed the caption and my words are totally different. So I just I'm gonna have to die on this cross. It is what it is. And then shout out to all the ladies. Y'all have been tearing up my DMs and my comments on a video by Ace Metaphor.
Oh, wait. Did I miss a video on Ace?
Absolutely.
God, what video did I miss on Ace?
You know what? Shout out to my host because Mike is the greatest person because when he don't know something, he get pissed. All right. And I wasn't even planning on doing this today, but now that we here, hold on, let me turn this up.
Oh.
Damn, I even earned a badge on this nigga's page. I hate this nigga, by the way. Hold on, and I'm about to go in. But here's the video. And Mike, oh gosh, hold on, y'all. Don't kill me, y'all. Don't kill me. I lost where I was at. All right, here we go.
Active mother and an active active father got two different definitions. Active mother, trenches, day in, day out, 24/7. Active mother, PTA meetings, soccer practice, football practice, reading, teaching, homework. Active mother, cook, clean, rear. Active mother. Active father, he come over on weekends. Active father, he buy a gift or two. Active father, he FaceTimes every once in a while. Different definitions, different standards. Just because you an active father don't mean you pulling your motherfucking weight. You active enough to take pictures, but are you 24/7? Do you know his teacher's name? Do you know?
All right, so I saw that video and I just clicked on. I didn't get past the what's the part I didn't get past? The two definitions, right? And so I'm looking at this and I'm looking at the comments and I'm laughing because every chick in the comments got the same makeup, right?
Yeah.
Single mom, they got all 4 of their kids as their profile banner. No man in sight, all sad ass statuses, and a couple of Trump supporters. So then with that, I'm looking at it and I write this one young lady and I pretty much copied and pasted my response to everybody afterwards. And I said, yo, I'm glad to see that this man cannot create content unless he's toying with black women's emotions or bashing black men.
Bashing black men. I mean, that's the easy way to get anything that you do heated. I'm gonna stop cursing. But yeah, that's the easiest way.
Absolutely.
And here's the second part, right? Men who are active fathers, like we're not gravitating to Ace's page to prove him wrong, right?
Absolutely.
Right? Like, so if you say something, if you were to say like mother-led homes lead in all these categories, right, that are not positive, what'll happen is all those misandrists will gravitate to your page, right? Men don't do that. They don't gravitate to Ace page to say, like, what the hell are you talking about, right? Like the weeks I have my son, I am doing all those things, right?
Absolutely.
The weeks I have my son, I literally it's all on me. From breakfast in the morning to him brushing his teeth and being read to at the end of the night, right?
Facts.
I'm not the only dad that's doing that.
Facts.
All right? Most dads, first off, the majority of men do not go to court for custody orders. The majority of men end up settling, and they settle for way less than what they can get because they can't afford to go to court. Court is expensive as hell, right?
I bet it is.
So they can't get in front of a judge, right? So they end up agreeing to an order or a settlement that they really, really don't want. Or if a man works, let's say if his shift is, let's say he's blue collar, that means that he probably has to be in the field at like 6:45, and some days he might not get out of the field until 6:45 the following evening, right?
Absolutely.
He cannot drop his kids off at school because you can't drop them off before 7:15, right?
Yeah.
You got to pick them up at 2:45, right?
Absolutely.
You can put them in after school, but after school still has to be done
By 6.
By 6, right? At the latest, right?
Yeah.
So what this man realizes is that without the cooperation of his ex-wife or his child's mother, it is impossible for him to work within that schedule, right?
Thanks.
So without him changing careers, he's like, yo, I really don't have an option of what I can do as a father except give the kids to her full time, right? Because her schedule allowed for it, right? Because she works an admin, right? She has to be at work at 8:15. She could get off at 5. Like it's stressful, but she can make that work. Whereas my type of work, because most blue collar work, you don't really have that option.
Nah.
And the majority of men are in blue collar fields.
Facts.
And the majority of blue collar work is done by men. So this idea that men just don't show up, there's a lot of reasons behind it, right? Like if the mother of that child would say, well, your weeks, I'll pick them up and you could come pick them up from my house when you get off work, you see a lot more men with custody.
Absolutely.
All right. That doesn't happen. So we sit here and we let the Aces of the world do this simp ass shit. And I know what's wrong with Ace. Ace was raised by his mom and his 4 aunts. He was, no, for real. Like I listened to him explain his background. So his point of view is never going to be a man's point of view.
I'm laughing because somebody wrote that in the comments and I thought they were just talking shit.
No, it's real, right? But here's the thing, though. The only reason why we know that is because there's another Facebook person named Daphne, and Daphne goes after misandrous and capping ass men all the time. And she actually went at Ace. Ace responded to her, and they ended up having a pod. You can probably find it on YouTube. Look for Daphne Ace Metaphor. And he actually came across as reasonable, but when you hear his backstory, you get why he is the way that he is. And it's a good chance, for all the trash that he talks about men, He's living with his girlfriend. He ain't married her.
Yeah. Well, here's my thing. I'm gonna say this to Ace, and I hope you do this. I encourage you to make one video, bruh, that ain't bashing black men, and that ain't I'm gonna encourage you to make one video where you ain't bashing black men and you're not toying with black women's emotions.
But he'll tell you that he does that with Table of 8.
Well, I don't believe
Or
shit.
8 at the table.
I don't believe shit that he says. And then with that, I want to say this. To everybody who was in the comments was like, he didn't specify a color. He didn't specify a race. Look at all y'all commenting.
Well, yeah. Hey, look, this ideal of it is so, okay. This is what annoys me about y'all, because y'all did the same thing with the therapist that said she didn't want to talk to men anymore, right? And then y'all was like, well, she didn't say she didn't want to talk to black men. All right, there's an inference that's made when you walk up to a restaurant and it says no baseball caps, no white tees, no boots.
Oh, absolutely, no Durex.
No Durex. Who are they talking about?
The niggas.
They don't have to say black men. We want you to come in here in a manner that we're not intimidated about you, right? Facts. They don't have to say it, right? So when people say things and we know it's being inferred, stop gaslighting us and saying, well, we didn't say black men. Like, fuck out of here.
So yeah.
Sorry for the cursing.
Sorry for the cursing, Mama, Gavin's mom, and Mike's mom. But yeah, bruh, I'm doing that. And look, I encourage everybody, tag me on that video. The moment he does not toy with y'all emotions or bash us, then I want to see what happened. But let me go ahead and tell y'all what's going to happen, because a lot of women always like to complain that men lie to us. What's going to happen is those numbers are going to be so low that y'all won't see them. The system won't reward him for doing that shit, so you would never see the video. Then what's going to happen is he's going to come back and continue to do this. And so it is just a joke at the end of the day. And I already know, bro. You got the same video formula for everything. You got the close-up camera. It's at 1.2 f-stop. You got the light right above your head. Everything blurred out with the LED lights. And on probably about the 8th sentence, you throw in a cuss word to show that you angry, and you zoom in and out. Bro, it's the same formula, and you kill the same people every time. All I'm asking for, bro.
He can't do it, man.
He can't.
He can't do it. But I mean, again,
and then, bro, get your money. If you want to play with black women to get your money, continue to do it, because that's all you're doing. And nobody don't want to say it to black women, but that is exactly what bruh's doing. He playing with y'all because he gets a check from Facebook for every 1,000 views he gets on his video.
Oh yeah.
And that check, honestly, I was about to call y'all the B word. Honestly, that check should go to y'all, because y'all the ones supplying him all the money because he killing y'all. But hey, congratulations to all parties involved. All right, Nick Cannon. Before we get back started, sorry about the intermission. We will be having an event on Saturday, June 12th. I'm starting to talk about it now because y'all about to hear about it for the next 2-3 months. It is a Saturday. I will be doing free photo shoots for 50 dads. And then we're going to have, it's hosted by the Black Dads Club. We're inviting everybody to the studio. We're going to hang out. Maybe a live show, maybe not, but we just want everybody to come through, celebrate with us. 50 photo shoots in the span of 2 hours. I don't know how the hell that's going to work.
That's going to have to be pretty quick.
Absolutely. But it'd be dope, man, because some of y'all ain't got no dope LinkedIn pictures. Some of y'all ain't got no fashion forward pictures. Please come.
That's gonna be a good weekend, though.
Yeah, man. Then we'll have everybody come in. We'll have some drinks. We'll have some food. We'll just have everybody just. I wanted to serve as like a networking, but also, when do we get 50 black men in a room just relaxing, getting to know each other, kind of just saying what's up? And then for us, we're going to get us 50 new listeners, but that's on another subject.
This is true.
But it'd be dope. I want to serve it as going back to what we talked about earlier, but in going forward is, I think there's a narrative. Excuse me, I don't think. I know there's a certain narrative about black men, and I do understand that we got to create community.
We do.
We got to create community. We got to create unity. And also, you know, I'm fortunate enough to have my father around. I'm fortunate enough to have Mike and his friends around. I'm fortunate enough to do the job that I do with maternity, and I'm meeting younger dads. But not everybody has that.
No.
Right? And when can we get multiple generations of fathers in a room to say, so that Mike can look at the younger, you know, the 25-year-old who's about to have his first baby and be like, hey, bruh, it's okay.
Yeah.
When can I look at, you know, someone that's Mike's father's age, and he's looking at me saying, yo, this is how you make it 30, 40 years married. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we want to create. So we inviting the dads here. The funny part is, I already had this woman reach out, and she was like, yo, I want to design a set for your photo shoot. She was like, I want to make sure because I think that's super, super important. So
it's going to be a dope time, man.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to do it. And again, I appreciate you guys coming in. Matter of fact, welcome to the Black Dads Club.
Welcome back.
Share this with, any friends you have. We have to get, guys, we got to get to 1,000 downloads a week.
Absolutely.
All right, that's what we got to get to. We creeping up there, but y'all share it with a friend, get them to download it. While this podcast is Black Dads Club, we talk about everything on here, right?
Absolutely. We absolutely do. And let me tell y'all why we need y'all help. Because we all understand as black men and as black people, because we have black women that listen to this too.
Yeah.
We understand that the system is in place to make sure this does not get to where it needs to get.
Yes.
And so if we can all work together, then we can create better household, better husbands, better fathers, just better men.
And if you want that, right? Like, we're here for
Yeah.
the people that want that. For the individuals that do not want that, I respect you and your decisions too.
Absolutely.
It's just that, but if you don't want it, you shouldn't look over to the people that want it and say, well, you guys are wrong. Like, this ideal in this country that if we disagree with someone, that person should be done away with.
Mm-hmm.
This is asinine. Like, you don't want to live in an environment where everybody agrees with the same thing, right?
Absolutely.
I don't like cantaloupe. My grandma used to love cantaloupe, right? I didn't hate my grandma.
Facts. Okay.
Right? So it's like we are allowed to have different preferences, different likes, different things. Back to Nick Cannon and Baby Daddy show. He's trash.
Well, it's gonna be a parody show. And I guess it's gonna be called "Who's Having My Baby."
But here's the thing. Hey, why is this funny? Why is this a joke? Why having children that obviously you currently cannot spend enough time with? Why making more broken homes is something that we find funny? And tell me, why isn't this is someone that is not black?
All right. So the Today Show is saying that Nick Cannon said, "Hey, this is a joke," and so I want to go off that premises.
Yes,
he is saying it is a joke, and it goes to your question or what you were talking about. Why is this funny?
Yeah, why is this funny? Right? There's nothing funny about creating a broken home for fun.
12 times over.
Yeah, there's nothing funny about that, man.
It's not, and only us get to do this. Only we get to do it to each other. And this ain't even a system. This is Nick Cannon, who is wealthy. Me and Mike, we hope to get that wealthy.
Yeah.
This podcast will be in a different stratosphere if me and Mike
we would
get
definitely
there.
be recorded from Cape Town.
Look,
I assure you.
Mike will. I'm gonna be in Vegas, and then I'm gonna go visit when we got to do video pod.
Yeah.
But
we'll be in Cape Town.
But it brings up this. Why does this get to be funny? Why did Nick Cannon think this was funny?
It's not.
Why does let me put it like this? Why is the CW Atlanta? Why is CBS News? Why is Newsweek? Why is the Today Show? Why is Billboard? Why is People Magazine? When you type in Nick Cannon Baby Daddy, all running articles on this funny show.
Yeah. And again, it goes back to a question that we ask often on this pod: who benefits from black male trauma? Right? Who benefits from it? Right? We're not benefiting from it.
Facts.
Who's benefiting from it? And again, this comes to what I've started to realize is that it is separation time in the black community between the black men that actually want to be fathers and husbands and be in the home, and the black men who do not, right?
Facts.
And then the people that want to be with the black men who do not want to have families at home, feel free to be over there.
Do your thing.
And then the people that want to be with black men that want to have families at home, you come over here. And then let's make sure that our children do not marry into one another.
Facts.
Right? And then
Equally yoked.
And let's see what society, let's see which side turns out better.
Well,
no, let's just see.
Oh,
Since they know everything, let's see.
look.
Y'all give me hype when y'all start doing this anti. I cannot stand anti-blackness. I cannot stand apology. Black apologists. You're going to our community is surviving despite being up under the thumb of supremacy. And I get tired of pretending that oh well, things aren't that bad. Look, if in the history books it'll tell you that hey, black people cannot drink out of the same water fountains as white people, right?
Oh, they erased that.
It'll tell you that in the history books. I can pick up the phone and make a phone call and ask somebody about that.
Facts.
Think about what I'm saying right now.
Facts.
I don't have to read a history book. I can pick up the phone right now and call two people that I still have access to and say, hey, Tell me about when you was a kid, what would happen if you walked up to drink out of a certain water fountain. Think about what I'm saying.
Yeah, that is wild.
So when I ask the question, who benefits from black male trauma? I'm not asking it. It's not funny to me, right?
Yeah.
Because I have loved ones that has been affected by supremacy, right? And then we have to be a generation to try to heal from that. But then y'all still cracking jokes.
You know what's crazy about the people you can call and ask them about that? They say it like it's nothing.
Yeah. So it was just day-to-day life, which shows you how easy it is
Facts.
for us to, accept a level of circumstance. And when men speak out, right, like a lot of times, I get why I get the backlash that I get, because I'm speaking from a place that's not comfortable, right? I'm speaking from a place where sometimes you're going to be standing by yourself, right? But that doesn't mean that you're wrong. It doesn't mean that you're right, but it also doesn't mean that you're wrong.
Facts.
Now you got to flush out the thought, right? You got to test it. You got to measure it against other thoughts. You got to be willing to have an open mind to hear what other people are saying. You got to be able to read through the studies and the statistics. Mm-hmm. If you're just going to have this point of view that's just myopic and you're just like, yeah, I'm not changing. Yo, you are not a part of the conversation of change. You're not.
Shout out to Pastor Mike, and shout out to the Talking Stage podcast. We are going to be on their show one day, but I am here to announce. I want to clear something up before we go to our last topic of the day. Mike is not my dad. All right, that needs to be stated. I don't know who came up with that theory. Mike is not my dad. Yes, my dad and Mike are around the same height. Yes, my dad is bald like Mike. Yes, they both wear glasses. This is not my dad. Somebody,
man.
And Chanel, you know who you are.
Hey, I used to actually look up to your dad, man, when I was growing up.
Bruh, Chanel was like, she was like, yo, I think it's so cool. Your dad, the pastor, is on the pod with you. I'm like, my dad ain't no pastor. And she was like, wait, that ain't your dad? I'm like, hell nah.
No, I am not Gavin's dad.
And I was like, yo, Mike gonna eat this up.
Oh, man.
Mike don't want to claim that he raised me. Y'all hear my takes on here. Shout out to all the birds. I did never mind. I can't even do that to her. She the homie.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm not even gonna do it. All right, for the last thing of the day, we got a certain topic. Hold on. Let me get the video. Hold on. Let me see if it's gonna pull up. You know, Instagram
is like, Source was such a.
Hold on, let's do it this way.
And people really want to be on it. And even though I just mentioned DJ Khaled and Kevin Hart and Flex, which Flex had kind of answered, me and him had kind of kicked it. I hadn't talked to Khaled or Kevin since I had put the message out, but it's not like I was trying to like disrespect them or single them out. It's just that, there's a bunch of them that back then there was no platform for them really to go to, that to try to build their career up. And I was at a pretty high level back then, and it was nothing for me to want to do that, to give them a bag, to give them an opportunity. It's like
so this is Benzino talking about the lack of support that he's received from DJ Khaled, Kevin Hart,
Funk
Master Flex.
And pretty much, if we're being honest, much any black rapper that came up during the 90s, man, in the early 2000s.
The source meant something.
The source is where it was at.
Facts.
So so when I saw that, and I was like, this is a good conversation to have, because it is something that happened to men, especially as you start elevating. Mm-hmm. When you put somebody on and then you fall off, do the people you put on, the people that you put on, do they owe you anything back? Like that, I thought that was a good question, for us to discuss as, black men, because I think we've all experienced that, right? Where,
Facts.
I've outgrown someone, or hell, someone has outgrown me.
Yeah.
Do somebody owe somebody something else? Yeah,
and so let's get something clear. Benzino, for those who don't know, y'all know, because y'all older than me who listening to this. And if I know, y'all had to know. Benzino worked at The Source. He was brung on, and he took The Source from just like a regular college magazine to something. To like, you had to be there.
The Source Music Awards, right?
The awards.
You had to get your 5 mics.
You had to get your mics. Yeah. You had to be in the magazine. They ran your story, your album. I don't think people understand. It's like something about if they ran your story, your album definitely was going to get so many more units sold.
Remember they used to have the new rappers. I forgot what they used to call it, but like the new upcoming rappers. Like if you wanted to blow up,
you had to be in the source.
You had to be in the source.
And eventually the source fell off. One, because they were just basically advertising dollars, like they were doing that. And then let's keep it real. Benzino went after Eminem. And when you are going after the most popular, successful selling rapper at that time, and then he just happens to have 50 Cent coming on right after him, right?
Yeah.
And it just so happens that probably the most important hip hop producer, if not Diddy, then it's Dr. Dre on his side. Yo, things ain't looking right.
Yeah. He definitely picks up fight. It also seemed like Benzino, he's problematic, right? It definitely seemed like he wanted, instead of being the guy that was running the source, become a rapper again.
Absolutely.
And I think that became part of the problem. But with that said, the source will put more people on than anything else.
Absolutely. And so, but
Rolling Stones was not doing this for rappers.
It was really the source and Vibe. And Vibe and Double XL were trying to do what the source
They were
did.
trying to, exactly.
When you got legendary rappers saying, yo, the source owe me mics, then we know what we're doing here.
Exactly.
So we get to this thing where Funk Master Flex is way ahead of Benzino. Kevin Hart is out of this world. I don't even know why he mentioned Kevin Hart. Think about if you put a cat on when he's nobody. Right? Soul playing Kevin Hart.
Like he's nobody, and then you put him on, and then now like Kevin Hart is probably pulling in $50 to $100 million a year between shows and movies
and shoes.
And shoes, like does Kevin Hart say, yo, let me look back to where I got my start, or do you even owe somebody? I think that's a real question. Like, when have you paid your penance?
So, all right, let me go ahead and just answer it, and then we'll just bounce off of that. Do you owe somebody? I think you owe somebody a thank you and a payback, and that's why I'm leaving it at. Like, it's been places where I've connected people. Funny story. This has zero to do, and you ain't Benzino, I ain't Kevin Hart, and nobody we work with, right? I remember a guy called me. And he said, yo, I got a photography gig for you. I want you to go do it. Mind you, dude didn't give me his name. He just called me with all this information, right? And bruh kept telling me how much money I will owe him on the back end. And I just remember on the phone, and I said, all right, bro, I'll holler at you later. And then he texted me, and I said, yo, I don't want this gig.
Yeah.
And I said, A, I don't know you.
Yeah.
And the fact that you are expecting payback already for something I haven't even done, I want zero to do with you. and it made me think, I never want to work with somebody, bro, or be friends with somebody where I feel like I got to give back to this, right? And so I do think that when you do grow up, you look at, first of all, and I think it's dangerous, right? We look at so many rappers, most notably Nipsey, back in his old neighborhood, helping out people that has helped him. And a lot of people don't know, or we try to play dumb to it. If you know a rapper, somebody down the line, their career got started by either a drug dealer, somebody in the streets. Let's put it like that. Somebody in the streets. And in the streets could just be, I know people. Yeah. That know people, right? And then you try to help those people back and they end up losing their lives. Or, we always see when people go back to the hood, whether it's Young Dolph, and I'm trying to help out somebody to help me along the way and I lose it. So I know that's the very deep end of it. But then it also goes back to, what if you, I know a guy right now, and I'll pass it to you. I know a gentleman right now, bro. He shoots movies for Disney, for BET. He takes pictures. Yeah. Right? There's a thing called a still photographer, and this guy is a still photographer on movie sets. He got there because his boy asked him to carry his bags that day. Yeah. And he illegally, according to them, the rights on this place, he was at Tyler Perry's house and he was taking pictures and he wasn't supposed to. A security guard saw him, said, hey, bro, you're not allowed to do that. I need to go turn you in. The person saw his picture, said, your pictures are too good. You need to be taking movie sets. Now this dude shoots movies for Disney. He takes pictures. Do he go look at the dude who asked him to hold his bag? Does that dude get to say, yo, I put you on? It gets to an interesting thing.
It does,
like,
man.
Do I let you hold my bags?
Yeah, it does. But okay, so it goes to like, how do you provide access, right? Like, because this is the thing I think as men where we have to become better at. It is my job to bless everybody that's around me, right?
Facts.
Like, so here's the thing: the ideal of strength is you have two things that you can do with strength, right? Strength and power. I think we convolute those a little too. They are different things, but let's use them for the same things for the sake of the story, right? If I am the strongest man in the village, right? Biggest, strongest man in the village, I can force everybody in that village to serve me.
Facts.
Right? Because there's nothing that anybody could do. And everybody individually would be too afraid to ever rise up against me. I can rule that village. I could also be the strongest man in the village, and every time someone needs something high off the shelf, every time somebody needs something to be moved that's heavy, every time the animal comes into the village, I go and get it. Those people will also want to serve me, right? Now, one of these men are being served because he serves his community. The other one is being served because they're afraid of him. Like, which man is better? So I think as men, like, that's something that we have to do, right? I think Kevin Hart owes Benzino, right? I don't think he has to cut him a check, but I think the ideal of saying like, oh, I can look out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I you know, these were the places you was problematic. These, you know, I know what people are saying about you. Hey, clean these things up, right? Because I mean, I still think Benzino is linked in because his daughter came out of nowhere. And she's one of the hottest rappers in the game. So somebody knows something.
Somebody do know something. Your daughter don't get. I believe some part of Coi Leray doing songs with Nicki Minaj got to do with, oh, you Benzino's daughter?
Yes.
All right, cool. Let me look out.
And, and whoever else Benzino knows, right? Whether it's producers, whether it's execs, that is, you know, she can say what she wants. She can be mad at her dad all she wants. But there's 1,000 girls in New Jersey right now.
Facts.
Who want to be, Coi
Leray. Absolutely.
So,
and you know, bro, you also got to be able to provide value to people.
That you know, good add on. Absolutely.
We had a networking event here on Sunday, right? And I told people, I said, the worst thing you could do is try to work with another entrepreneur, another business owner, and you need a favor and you can't provide any value to them. Because as Benzino, I have to, and I don't want to do this, but I think y'all going to get my drift. Benzino has been devaluing his brand and himself for a decade.
No, absolutely.
And so some of that is, it may be 2 decades. And some of that is, yo, the source is no longer here. Then you're on Love and Hip Hop. Then you have issues in your family. Then your daughter becomes more popular than you. And she's talking about how, hey, ask my dad when the last time he seen me. And then, you know, it's a lot of devaluing. So if I'm Kevin Hart and I'm, you know,
I can't really touch you, right? Because you're radioactive.
But absolutely. So I'm hanging out with the Obamas. I'm hanging out with Jay-Z. Kevin Hart admits, yo, I spilled a drink on Beyonce, and I'm still cool with the Carters. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot. Kevin Hart is everywhere. And we take Funkmaster Flex. I believe he has a lot of pull still at Hot 97. We look at who else he named? It don't even matter.
But whoever knows. But to your point,
but the thing is, what problematic. If you're problematic, at least explain to me what your value is. And sometimes you got to be able to do that, or let somebody know, like, look, I need this break, and it ain't gonna hurt you none. So, Funkmaster Flex, I got a new thing that's coming out. Can I just come up to the radio for 15 minutes? Bro, give me an interview spot, and maybe I ain't paying. Maybe you going, instead of 15, it'll be 30. Kev, I know you do this, and that. Maybe can my daughter open for you?
Yeah.
Maybe those opportunities are there.
I think you said something even more important. I think, are you adding value?
Facts.
And I think that becomes the problem because, you know, to any of those guys, would Benzino add value to any of those guys' platform?
Absolutely.
And I think we're saying no, he's not really adding value to Kevin Hart, Funkmaster Flex, or whoever else he named. He's not, right? Which means, you know, we run into these same problems, right? So
Facts.
when we have our boys that we leave behind, and they're not really adding value, right? Like, you know, man, I can't.
He definitely ain't adding no value to DJ Khaled.
I'd love to have you here, but you know, if you come here and you're a negative reflection of me, I haven't done myself any good, right?
Facts.
So as men, are we able to have these conversations, right? Like, are we able to say to our homeboys, like, hey man, you gonna have to clean it up? And I get that. Like when I was younger, I would definitely have, you know, situations where my homeboys be like, hey Mike, please don't go in there and say nothing crazy. Right?
Absolutely. When we go on radio, me and Mike gonna have to tell each other that one day. And you know, I'm looking at it. He talking about DJ Khaled. DJ Khaled is signed to Universal. Now he's back. He didn't left Sony. Now he's back at Def Jam. It's on like 2 music labels in the industry, right?
Yeah, that's it.
I believe Jimmy Iovine, who has been with Dr. Dre since the 90s, who's with Eminem, 50, all that. I believe Jimmy Iovine can call Lucian at UMG and say, yo, burn out Benzino. And DJ Khaled, no, he can't pick up your phone calls no more, bro. And it does get to a point of, yo, if I'm trying to get to $1 billion, if I'm trying to get to 500 million, if I'm trying to get to $1 million, and you are radioactive, bro, yo, I might have to just be like, bro, not now.
And I agree with that, but do you owe it to say, hey, dude, you're radioactive, right?
I do.
You're gonna have to clean up your image.
Absolutely. Men got to start being honest with men.
Yes.
It's funny. My boy hit me up, listened to the pod, and he was like, yo, I hear you keep having this conversation with Mike and his boys about reaching back. And he said, you got to learn to start being honest with people when you don't want to. Yeah. Because it's easy to be honest when you're drunk and you're upset.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then sometimes you got to be able to pull somebody to the side. And I even had this conversation with my pops this weekend. We was talking about me having this conversation with you and Eugene and Jeremiah and Baraka. And I was like, yo, it is people in my life who I want to be super honest with, but do I got the time, energy? And we gotta start doing that with men.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I gotta let somebody know, like, hey, bruh, you can't do this. I was on one of my homeboys' podcasts. He ain't invited me on. He ain't told me about it. He keep having a lot of cornballs on his podcast since then, and it's cool, right, bruh? I talked about something that he can't stand by on his podcast, and I mentioned it, and I got out of there. But at the end, Ez hit me up, and Ez go, hey, bro, you know he can't stand by that. And I was like, yeah, I understand that now. I get it now.
Yeah.
But it would have been cool if bro would have hit me up and said, yo, bro, this is why I can't have you back on. But I understand he's not going to do that.
Yeah, but to your point, though, we got to be able to have those conversations of like,
absolutely.
Hey, we can say this. Look, there's plenty of things on this pod that we could talk about that we be like, yeah, we can't say it.
Mike wants a Patreon, just to let y'all know.
we definitely need a Patreon. But, you know, you have to be, but you got to be able to be honest, right? Like, there's times I come in, I'm like, all right, Gavin, you can't say this, right? You know, hey, we can't go here, right?
First thing out of my mouth.
Those are conversations where men have to be able to have with one another.
Facts. Look, man, I want to thank everybody for listening. Shout out to all the brides that I'll be shooting this summer. A couple of our listeners are getting married this summer. Hand claps for those women and they man. We gonna see y'all this summer. Please block it off. June 21st. We got a new logo. It's at the bottom of this video. Merch is coming. I got a surprise for Mike. I just got to find the money for it. But I got a surprise for Mike. And yeah, man, we gonna holler at y'all.
Hey, man, can't wait to talk to y'all next week. We got some good topics. Share this with a friend. We got to get to 1,000 downloads in the next 2 weeks, guys.
Facts.
Share this, all right?
Right now.
Holler at your boy.